Mzuzu Diocese Assistant Bishop Yohane Suzio Nyirenda has called on President Lazarus Chakwera to improve the road network in the northern region. Bishop Nyirenda says most roads in the northern region are impassable during the rainy season. Bishop Nyirenda also says the government abandoned construction of some of the roads in the region. Sam Kalimira has more in this report.
Bishop Nyirenda was speaking during a mass service at St. Peter's Cathedral in Mzozo, where Chakwera and the First Lady Monica attended. Among others, the bishop cited construction of Mzalangwe-Kafukule Road, which stalled, suggesting that the government should consider mere grading of the roads if resources are not enough.
Some roads have become almost impassable, especially the rural places. I mentioned the Otin area, Zimba Mzarangwe roads, but also Mherembe roads, going to Kazuni, and some other places they need at least to be graded.
He then commended the government for commencing work on the M1 road, further asking for speedy completion. Chakwera did not speak in the church but responded to Nyirenda when they bade farewell, saying he will look into the challenges raised. During the service, Chakwera supported a fundraising activity at the church with 2 million kwacha. St. Peter's Cathedral Council Chairperson Charles Maloya commended Chakwera for supporting the activity, whose proceeds are intended to build an outstation church.
Fortunately enough, we are also doing the Golden Sunday. Wanted to raise money to assist our colleagues to build their church. So with his coming, that has also assisted us to raise a little bit of money, a reasonable amount of money.
Mzuzu Diocese has over 200 primary schools, 10 secondary schools, and health facilities, and also complements government in areas of agriculture and good governance.
10 young innovators at Dzaleka in Doha have received grants worth 1.7 million kwacha each for coming up with innovative solutions to social challenges in their area. Dzaleka Refugee Camp-based Technolab ICT Academy presented the grants on Sunday. Sarah Chukwapula has more in this report, which is being read by Pempero Malimba.
Technolab ICT team leader Debola Ntakilutimana said young people have the power to improve the social and economic challenges facing the country if they are given necessary resources.
And the challenge with that, some were having good ideas, but now the way of maybe bringing them to reality and also presenting them, it was hard. So we had first to mentor them and also help with them to do the clear picture of what they want to do.
Dzaleka Refugee Camp manager Elton Pulusa said the innovations have the potential to help the district to experience significant development if well implemented.
It will assist themselves and people around the camp, the host community. They are going to benefit from the encouragement of the grants to these students.
One of the recipients, Tuonge Msukwa, expressed hope that her community will benefit from her innovative project.
This gives me an opportunity to implement my business idea that I developed from the research that I had. And meanwhile also, being a supplier or a depot for poultry, I'll enable those having smaller capital, a little capital, to also indulge into chicken selling business.
The initiative was funded by the World Bank, United Nations High Commission for Refugees, Public-Private Partnership Commission, and Luntha Ndichuma.
Salima Sugar Company Limited's executive chairman, Wester Kosamu, has said the future of the company looks promising. Kosamu has told Times things have started moving in the right direction at the once troubled sugar maker. He said this on the sidelines of a presentation of the draft functional review report by Omega Consulting and Training on public procurement by the Public Procurement and Disposal of Assets Authority. Daronga Sabola reports.
According to COSAM, the firm has had a 23 billion kwacha debt with a local bank which had not been paid for some time, but that they have now started servicing the loan and they have already paid about 2 billion kwacha.
Basically, we have brought in our consultants and the managers and supervisors of this company to be oriented on the draft proposal on the functional review. We are looking at all the positions. Every employee in those positions must know what they are supposed to do.
Salima Sugar Farm Supervisor Charity Kanono Salapa held the firm for the functional review, saying it will help every staff member to concentrate on their core duties.
This meeting is crucial to my job as a farm supervisor from the farm department in such a way that as a farm supervisor I'll be able to know what are my responsibilities and what am I supposed to do at the farm in as far as farming sugarcane is concerned.
Last year, a forensic audit report by Audit Concert revealed that about $30 million, or about 52.5 billion kwacha, was plundered at the Salima-based sugar maker by politicians, civil servants, and foreign investors.
Now, about 325,000 poor households in the country have benefited from the Social Cash Transfer Program since its inception years ago. There have been mixed reactions as to the effectiveness of social protection programs in reducing poverty. While some say they promote heavy reliance to handouts, economist Bertha Chikadza says the programs have changed lives of some of the poorest households. But as Daniel Zimba reports, Chikadza calls for the need for Malawi to focus on the root causes of poverty other than on short-term handouts.
The Malawi Social Cash Transfer Program is under the National Social Support Program. The initial goal of the program is to reduce poverty and school dropouts. According to Chikadza, the program has the potential to alleviate poverty in the short term. Chikadza, however, stresses the need for Malawi to focus on the root causes of poverty other than on short-term handouts to people, as this may lead to high dependency syndrome. An assessment by the World Bank ranks Malawi among poorest countries in the world. According to the report, 70 out of every 100 people in Malawi live below the extreme poverty line of $2.2, an equivalent to about 3,700 kwacha per day. In the 2023-2024 national budget, the government of Malawi allocated about 2.8 billion kwacha towards social protection programs. Launched in 2006 as a pilot in Chinji district, the Malawi Social Cash Transfer Program has approximately benefited more than 300,000 poor families in 22 out of 28 districts across the country.
Activists have asked the Malawi Electoral Commission, MEC, to reduce nomination fees by 50% for female candidates in the upcoming 2025 general elections. The initiative seeks to enhance women's participation in politics and support the 50-50 campaign. Wezi Gausi reports.
NGO Gender Coordination Network chairperson Maggie Katwera Banda emphasized that MEC plays a crucial role in the 50-50 campaign's success in elections. She noted that many women are eager to participate in politics but face financial challenges.
We need support in terms of training the women. We need support in terms of raising awareness to the voters on the importance of voting for women. We need resources in terms of supporting women to put up effective campaigns. So we need a lot of money for us to be able to effectively deliver on the mandate that we have as NGO Gender Coordination Network.
MEC spokesperson Sangwani Mwafulirwa mentioned that nomination fees will be announced in November 2024 as required by law. He says anyone with issues should formally address them to the Commission. MEC chairperson Annabel Mtalimanja highlighted that the theme for the 2025 election is promoting democracy leadership through your vote, guiding all election-related activities.
Vice President Michael Osi has promised to bring donors back for the construction of Nasolo Bridge in Blantyre, which is currently in a dilapidated state. The Vice President made the pledge after touring the site recently. Osi says the donors pulled out on a commitment to construct the bridge following the misconduct of some government officials. Osi had this to say after touring the site.
We had an opportunity of fixing this bridge 1.5 years ago, but because of certain individuals whom I don't want to embarrass, that played a role for this bridge to be still in this state today. But having consulted the state president, he empowered me to go ahead and plead with the donors, with the friends that had promised to help fix this bridge. So I went to them, talked to them and said, we are going to make sure that all the issues that you faced, you don't face them again. So we are at the point where we are being considered. So I brought the representative of those colleagues, development partners here, so that we can inspect the bridge together. We need a bridge that is fit for purpose, and we should move as quickly as possible so that when the rains have started, the bridge is already fixed.
The Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife has expressed worry over continued attacks on wildlife rangers. Officials say the situation is derailing efforts to protect wildlife reserves. Witness Chipwere has more in this report read by Sam Kalimira.
Minister of Tourism Vera Kantukule disclosed this in Rumpi during a joint commemoration of 2024 World Wetland, Wildlife and Rangers Day ceremony. Kantukule said poaching leads to the decline of endangered species and disrupts biodiversity.
People that are living around these areas, that whose responsibility it is to ensure that they are protecting the protected areas together or alongside the rangers. I can never overemphasize the role that our rangers play. Every single day they are hunted down as animals. It is. You should see. You saw one of the rangers. He was injured. He was injured by an animal, but most times they are also injured by human beings, poachers.
Commenting on the matter, country manager for African Parks in Malawi, Sam Kamoto, said addressing poaching requires collaboration among countries, NGOs and international organizations to combat wildlife trafficking and enhance protective measures. Kamoto added that raising awareness about the importance of wildlife conservation can help foster a culture that values and supports rangers and their work.
We would like to try as much as possible to request members of the communities, particularly those that are living next to the protected areas, that they should give us a lot of support. They need to understand that we are protecting these natural resources, wildlife, for the country, but for themselves as well.
The commemoration was held under the theme People and Nature Conservation.
You're watching the news on Times TV. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back. Still in the news, Information Minister Moses Kunkuyu has asked Malawians to be careful with politicians who are misinforming people. Kunkuyu, who is also Malawi Congress Party campaign director, said this on Saturday at a public rally in Kumanda village, traditional authority Kuntaja in Blantyre. Richard Chirombo reports.
Kunkuyu said misinformation is posing a threat to national development efforts.
That is something that is missing because we have now access to the internet, but how we are using it, we are not putting it to some productive use. In the end, you find even politicians, they are now looking at the minds of the people as very valuable minds, where they can tell them anything knowing that they're going to believe it. How does someone
For the Malawi Congress Party Vice Presidency, Kunkuyu said he, like anyone else, has a right to contest.
The vice presidency of the Malawi Congress Party is something that is necessitated by the need to have people that resonate with the ground. People that know the Malawi Congress Party, people that know what the Malawi Congress Party stands for, people that respect the values of the Malawi Congress Party. If we are to go, if we are to face the election next year, we need to have a house that is strong. And what is happening at the convention have people like myself protesting. It's just a fulfilling the arrangement of the Malawi Congress Party.
The Malawi Congress Party is about to go to a convention where oppositions are up for grabs.
Demand for blood in the central region remains high as compared to the supply, officials at the Malawi Blood Transfusion Service have said. Spokesperson for the central region, Opile Gaimva, says the organization has been collecting less units of blood against the daily target of 150 units per day. For more on this, here is Pempero Malimba.
Kaimvi said instead of collecting 150 units in a day, which is their target for the month of August, they are collecting at least 120 units of blood.
So you find that some days we collect 100 units, some days we collect 120, some days we collect 80 units. So you find that the days when we collect less units, that's when in the hospitals there's a bit of a crisis because the units that we have sent is less. The days when we collect more than 150 units, those are the days where everybody is assisted accordingly.
She said blood collection in some instances is affected by misconceptions which exist among people. She, however, expressed hope that through the sensitization campaigns which they are conducting will help to solve the problem. Commenting on the development, public health expert Adamson Mula said there is a need to channel more resources to the Malawi Blood Transfusion Service to ensure its effective operations. Mula further called for more efforts to be made to help addressing road accidents that involve Kapaza operators.
Increased number of accidents, injuries arising from especially Kapaza. This is something that needs public attention, and it needs public attention urgently.
Malawi Blood Transfusion Service has a target of at least 130,000 units of blood this year.
The Public Accounts Committee of Parliament has emphasized the importance of timely payments to contractors for efficient project delivery. Vice Chairperson Ned Poya made the remarks during the inspection tour of the purpose-built lab complex at the Malawi University of Science and Technology, MUST in Cholo. Poya speaks to our reporter, Gift Sitima.
We're very happy to see the structure that you're seeing behind me. This is a multi-purpose laboratory for this institution. And to show our happiness, this is the project that is being funded by Malawi government through PSIP. This is our own project. The only problem that we've seen is the progress has slowed down a little bit because of funding, because the contractor produced at least 2 certificates, which is costing us around 2 billion. So as a community, we'll take it up from there to talk to the government to fund the contractor so that we finish this project in time. In construction, when you delay in paying the contractor, the project delays too.
And Dr. Matthews Mtumbuka is MUST Council Chairperson.
This project is extremely crucial because by name of our university, Malawi University of Science and Technology. Science and technology is learned in laboratories. We have some makeshift laboratories, they're not ideal. So for us to live by the name of our university, we need purpose-built laboratory, which is what we have here. And I think what that means is that lecturers will find it easier to illustrate and teach the students. But also it means the students will be able to learn things better by visualizing, by testing, experimenting. And also this lab will come with modern equipment.
The 3-year project is being funded by the Malawi government and is expected to be completed by June next year. In international news, with Democratic nominee Kamala Harris set to face off with Republican Donald Trump for the U.S. presidency, Harris' position on military support to Israel and Ukraine, a rising China, and the migrant crisis are under increased scrutiny. VOA White House Bureau Chief Patsy Widakuswara reports.
Thousands of Central American migrants cross Mexico every year, heading for the U.S. border.
Coordinating with the region to address the root causes of migration was a task assigned to Vice President Kamala Harris, leaving her open to attacks from her November rival, former President Donald Trump.
She was a bum, a failed vice president in a failed administration, with millions of people crossing, and she was the border czar.
Harris is not the administration's border czar, but on immigration, she brings a tough message to the campaign trail, highlighting her experience as California's Attorney General.
I went after transnational gangs, drug cartels, and human traffickers that came into our country illegally. I prosecuted them in case after case, and I won. Donald Trump, on the other hand, has been talking a big game about securing our border, but he does not walk the walk.
If elected, Harris said she'll bring back President Joe Biden's border bill that was killed by pro-Trump Republicans in Congress. She'd continue his efforts to help Ukraine while preventing direct war with Russia and work to maintain unity among NATO allies. Also expect continuity in the Indo-Pacific.
The United States stands with the Philippines in the face of intimidation and coercion in the South China Sea.
And on trade with China.
She will continue, as she has said, to try to de-risk from China. We know that when she ran for president in 2020, she was fairly tariff averse. Like President Biden, she seems to have changed her mind about that. So more continuity than otherwise.
On Gaza, Harris is aligned with Biden, aiming for a ceasefire and preventing a regional war. However, with a large swath of the Democratic electorate angry at Biden's staunch support for Israel, Harris appears to be much more sympathetic to Palestinian casualties.
We cannot allow ourselves to become numb to the suffering, and I will not be silent.
Harris has embraced the Biden doctrine of leading by relying on allies and partners and has focused on non-traditional security threats, chairing the National Space Council and promoting the administration's policies on artificial intelligence and climate.
So when people say, oh, she just had the immigration portfolio and we have a terrible immigration problem, they aren't really encompassing the full role that she's played in every region of the world.
Despite her almost 4 years of traveling the globe, meeting 150 heads of state and government, Trump says Harris is inexperienced and unaccomplished.
She is a radical left lunatic who will destroy our country.
Her response?
If you got something to say it to my face.
Patsy Huswara, VOA News at the White House.
That's the news, but before we go, the headlines again. Mzuzu Diocese calls on the government to improve road infrastructure in the northern region. Experts caution on social protection approaches as 325,000 poor households benefit from social cash transfer programs. And in other news, continued attacks on wildlife rangers affect conservation efforts. Remember, you can get more on these and other stories by visiting www.times.mw, liking and following our Facebook page, Times 360 Malawi, on X at Times 360 Malawi, and by subscribing to 1895 by dialing *1895#. I'm Mwai Goelo. Have a good evening.